This could finally be the year that Liverpool gets the better of these guys.
Carvajal's shoulder hit into Vinicius!
It's becoming a reoccurring theme now. Every time the Reds have faced Los Blancos in recent years, they've always come out as the losing side. But this year, they've got a secret weapon up their sleeves that could finally be the trick that beats Madrid. Arne Slot and Liverpool's start to the season has been nothing short of incredible. This tie takes place at Anfield at 8 PM UK time, and the place will be bouncing by the time kickoff comes. Top of the Premier League, 5 points clear of second place Manchester City. This team had been on fire this season.
I think we're at a point now where everybody within the club and the fans will feel like something special is happening. And I think when I looked at some of those breaks and the speed that they can go from at the back or defending to so fast counter-attacking, that reminded me of a Klopp type of team. They've taken that best kind of attribute and continued with it. The rest of it was a very calm, composed, quite frankly, slow game.
It's exciting to be a Liverpool fan. And it's not just in the Premier League they've been turning heads. They're top of the league in the new Champions League format. It gets more impressive when you realise that out of the 4 games they've played this season in the competition, it's been against the likes of AC Milan, Bayer Leverkusen and RB Leipzig. 3 teams who pose proper tests against them. On the contrary, the defending champions have had a mixed start in big competitions this season. They are currently behind Barcelona in La Liga, and in the Champions League, Real Madrid are sat in unfamiliar territory. They're 18th. This means if the competition were to end now, Real Madrid would have to compete in the playoffs just to make it to the round of 16. When the 2 teams meet in the coming days, however, if you'd expect form to go out the window, you won't be wrong. They've met in 2 of the last 6 Champions League finals, and in the 4 years in that run, they've met at the quarter-final stage in 2020-21 and the round of 16 in the 2022-23 season. What's peculiar about these fixtures is, in all these meetings between the 2, Real Madrid has always come out on top. Liverpool have yet to beat Los Blancos since 2009. But that could very well change now, and you're about to find out the reason why. But first, see that subscribe button to Matchday 365? Smash it so you never miss out on any of the channel's latest videos. And give us a like at the same time, it really helps our channel. Right, back to these 2 now. So, why do Liverpool have the upper hand this time? The most obvious reason would be because of this guy. Arne Slot. If you're Carlo Ancelotti, this is a problem.
It's such a league, there are many good managers where you have to, which you're going to face. And Pep is one of them, that's for sure. And I think it was last time when I had the interviews with Liverpool, I'm lucky enough that I lived in an era where I could see the Barcelona team. It's one thing we have in common.
Hold it right there. Like Arne Slot said, his Liverpool team and the idea behind Pep's Barcelona team from years back aren't that different.
They really bought into it immediately because they also understood in 2 weeks' time we have to play Ipswich. So, but I think one of the main things why, if they buy in, which is I believe they do, but why they do is that the differences are not that big. So there are only small differences.
But then again, as the man said, his ideas aren't that different from Jurgen Klopp's. So what does this mean? Arne Slot's Liverpool are different from what Carlo Ancelotti has had to face against Liverpool in the past. The idea of a possession-based team that seeks to control rather than constantly attack, this will be a problem for Ancelotti. It won't be the case against Madrid though this time, because as we come to know, they're very solid at the back. Just 6 goals conceded in the league this season, and in the Champions League, just 1. That's 3 clean sheets in the last 3 Champions League games, against solid opponents as well. It'll be a tactical battle between the 2 in a couple of days, and in this aspect, Slot has the upper hand. As Jude Bellingham notes here, Carlo Ancelotti doesn't do tactics. Instead, he allows his players the creative freedom to express themselves in game situations, and trust the players' qualities they possess to do the business on the pitch. Not a bad thing, as it's brought in wins and trophies over the years. But if there's one thing we have seen a few weeks back, that there is a catch to this. Barcelona gave the world a masterclass on how best this supposed Madrid all-star team at Galacticos. Despite all the qualities they had on the pitch, Madrid lost 4-0, and they so easily could have lost by 6 goals.
We want to make pressure on the ball, This is very important, and so also important when you play against Real Madrid, that they have not so much space, because they are unbelievable players, really world-class players. But today it was a good performance from our team.
Listening to Hansi Flick in the post-match interview, he talked about the use of space and how they restricted Madrid and the players from exploiting it, because they knew how dangerous they could be if they allowed them time on the ball. Can Arne Slot pull off the same thing? From what we've seen so far, yes. Going back to that Barcelona game, they played in a 4-2-3-1 system, where Frankie de Jong, who sat alongside Marc Casado at the base of midfield, and Pedri as a number 10 linking the front three, changed the game. Expect the same from Slot's Liverpool. Barring any injury problems, you expect him to be key. In that midfield role this season, Ryan Gravenberch has been a revelation. Looking at the team as a whole, alongside Alexis McAllister, Liverpool's tactics will be a repeat of the same shape Barcelona employed that easily got the better of Madrid, with either Dominic Szoboszlai or Curtis Jones acting in that number 10 role, just behind Liverpool's front three. Arne Slot is about control. Barcelona controlled the game against Madrid, and when the opportunities came, they took them. Liverpool will look to do the same thing too. With Arne Slot, the results this season have followed a similar pattern. Bar the game against Chelsea, which he admitted was the toughest game he'd managed this season, Liverpool has managed to control and dictate the tempo against the majority of the opponents they've played this season. If they can dictate the tempo this time, Madrid are there for the taking. Just in case you missed it earlier, you can get info on the latest videos like this by simply hitting that subscribe button to the channel below. In as much as they'll want to control the game, it will ultimately come down to the chances they get in the final third. And in this category, Liverpool has been efficient. Mohamed Salah is the club's top scorer, as well as the top assist provider. And against Real Madrid, seems this might be the year he finally settles that score. He got memed for it in 2002 and in 2023. But this year, it just seems different. Real Madrid, for all they are, don't quite feel like the same team they used to be. When he arrived, his signing was expected to shake up the league, transform La Liga, and make Real Madrid unstoppable. But if anything, you could make the argument that Kylian Mbappe's signing for Real Madrid has made the team a bit worse. That's a conversation for another day though. They're not playing with the same confidence and style that made them La Liga and Champions League winners last season, and this could very well play in at Liverpool's hands. Of the 4 games they've played in the competition so far, they've been unconvincing in almost every game. After the 3-1 win against Stuttgart, they followed it up with a 5-2 win against Borussia Dortmund. Sounds like a pretty good result against a decent team, until you realise this was a sign of things to come. At half-time, Dortmund held a 2-0 lead, and you could blame the substitutions and negative approach Dortmund head coach Edin Terzic took right after, which allowed Real Madrid to turn the match on its head. Against Lille, it didn't happen, and certainly not against AC Milan at the Bernabeu. Run against a Liverpool team in the form they're in, it might be a task too far. One thing is for certain, Slot and his players will be motivated for this one.
Lots of Liverpool players say nice things about Arne Slot of late. This is what Alexander-Arnold had to say. I said to Slot that I would like to be the defender that no one wants to come up against in Europe. We agreed that he will be harsh on me. If any time an attack gets by me and gets past me, he will call it out in meetings and individual meetings and say this cannot happen. He continued, it is really refreshing to have a manager who will help and guide and teach me how to be better as a player. I'm someone who wants to learn, someone who wants to be the best, and someone who strives to be the best.
As Trent Alexander-Arnold said here, he wants to become the best fullback in the world, and he's worked out a plan with Slot to achieve this goal. The point with this is that where Real Madrid has failed to gel as a team, Arne Slot has so far gotten the best out of his players, both individually and collectively. Guys like Ryan Gravenberch, Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and even the goalkeeper Kelleher, they all seem to have upped their game considerably under Slot this season. And against a team like Real Madrid, it'll be the acid test to see just exactly how much they can pull it off. For Trent in particular, this game might hold a lot more than it's supposed to. The rumours have been swirling around about a potential move for him from Liverpool to Real Madrid in the summer. And he'll be out of contact at the club, and for a player like him in the situation he's at, it could ultimately become a chance for him to showcase to his potential suitors what he's about. To say this game would be huge is an understatement. It's not just the clash of the Titans at Liverpool. It's two of the biggest teams in Europe going head to head. In this game, it could play into Slot's hands, and that's because there'll be more pressure on Carlo Ancelotti's Madrid team than Liverpool, given the results they've had in big games this season against the likes of Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and AC Milan. They were unconvincing and didn't win any of them. Another defeat again could spell danger and put Ancelotti under massive pressure from the Madrid hierarchy, a position he's not familiar with. For Liverpool though, this game couldn't have come at a better time. Apart from the fact that they've been flying, on the other hand, this Madrid team is dealing with a host of injury problems, especially in defence. Looking at the names they've got out injured are David Alaba, Dani Carvajal, Eder Militao, Thibaut Courtois and Lucas Vázquez, all to a very large extent key parts of Real Madrid's back line. Going into a game of this magnitude with so many key players missing could prove to be a big deal for the club. You wouldn't be surprised to see players being played out of position. Actually, that's the only logistical solution now for Madrid, academy or reserve team players. Against a team like Liverpool, they could just be asking for it. Despite all of this, it'd be very unwise to rule Real Madrid out. As they've shown in the past, their recovery powers in this competition run deep. Comeback after comeback after comeback, all from improbable positions too. And with the pace and threat they've got up front, there is the possibility that all it could take would be one chance to settle it. But still, you just can't put it past Liverpool. They've played scintillating football this season and are on a roll. The momentum might go out of the window in a game like this, but it will still be key, especially knowing full well that Real Madrid is still reeling from the big defeats they've suffered this season. This one's going to take place at Anfield too. It's once again, the ultimate revenge story is being written for Liverpool. A team they haven't beaten since 2009 comes to Anfield with an injury crisis, a misfiring team, and results hanging in the balance. All points out to the fact that Arne Slot has the opportunity to make a proper statement against a team like Madrid in a couple of days. What do you think? Real Madrid, despite the problems they've had, will be too much for Liverpool? Arne Slot would easily be overpowered by Ancelotti. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. See you next time.